Lally ho, friends, and welcome to episode 43 of Kupo Quest. We've got a full house tonight, and hopefully, you're going to have a little bit of relaxing downtime. We'll see. This group has by far earned it, but yeah, Grunthor's shaking his head. They don't trust me to actually deliver on just a little bit of downtime, so we'll see if I make a liar of them. But
So
let's
you're
get to kind of
sure all of you get into the water?
The spa's a mimic.
the whole spa, the whole city is a mimic. It
The
just
whole
swallows you.
thing.
So, where we left off, which honestly, going into what is supposed to be a relaxing time for the group, a little bit of tension going on because some things have gone down. Specifically, last episode between Izzy, our wonderful wizard here, and the Queen of Cornelia, Sara, had a little bit of a head-butting competition as she expressed her need and desire to want to step out of the shadows a little bit, more into the public eye, and help them negotiate with the Ellison up in Sandoria. And Izzy was pretty much like, "No, you're not allowed to do that," which she did not take too kindly to. So, God, I gotta memorize the Discord already. I can tell. So she did not seem to take very kindly to that. So some tension and some words were said, but the group did make it back to Balam, where they met up with Squall and Renoa. Those are the presidents of Balam, and basically started to kind of formulate a plan. Izzy kind of maintaining his distance away from the group, kind of just flying here and there, trying to get things done, setting off a couple of alarm bells with our NPCs, specifically Renoa and Squall seem to have caught on that something might be going on there. And then also he had sent a message to his brother, who was with Grunthor's family out in Windhill, and said, "Hey, come to Balam. Use that fancy teleportation spell you've only used one time." And normally would have been great, but the DM rolled really bad. And the last
He's literally familiar with Balam.
What part of really bad do you not understand? Like really bad.
Somehow.
Hang on. Why are we putting quotations around really bad and not the DM speaking in third person?
Yeah, that's how I say it.
Roll.
The DM somehow rolled really bad.
I get accused. All right, hold on. I get accused sometimes of fudging rolls for dramatic purposes, and I want to ask everybody right here: are you not having fun? Roll with it. And actually, I really did roll really bad, really bad on that.
We need to have like
you fudged rolls to save us before.
I did fudge a roll to save a life before. I'll admit to that.
Apparently, D&D Beyond says I'm having fun with a 16. I rolled for it.
Perfect.
We need to have a Kupo Quest version of the Box of Doom. So anytime there's like a critical roll, it just like switched to like a GoPro.
I need something here. Sure. Yeah, I could just put it right above my thing.
Do not sue us, Brennan Lee Mulligan and Rick Perry.
So
I said a Kupo Quest version.
I will say this: if my role for his teleport had been a divine intervention, it would have worked. Let's just put it that way. So it was a good. I mean, it was good in that regard, but it was low. So just keep that in mind, because I rolled it and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, so that's where we left off. Let's say at this point, the group has gone their separate ways for the night. Okay, the tensions, I think, were kind of boiling over at the end of last episode. And also, we had kind of gotten to a point to where the meeting between everybody had already ended. Izzy, by the way, had already just fucked off on his broom, so no one really knows where he went anyway. So at this point, Renoa has let you know that you do have the spa appointments have been lined up for the next day. So you do have the afternoon this evening. If there's anything you'd like to do, you don't have to split up, but anybody who wants some time to themselves is more than willing to just take a breath, take a step back. So what do y'all want to do? The floor is yours.
Well, Izzy has to spend a fucking spell slot to send a message to his brother.
Go for it.
Yeah, basically the message is, when your mom tells you to tell your sibling something and you say it in a much meaner way? It's like that, where he basically says, "Get here now."
There's a moment, and the first thing you hear back is, "Izzy, I'm trying. I don't know where we are." Give me a minute. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, crystal ball scry.
Have you? How many of those do you get a day?
I have no clue. You haven't made the item.
How many does the normal crystal ball get a day?
Let's see.
I'll go ahead and roll this anyway.
You know that I like girl.
I thought it was.
Wait,
I thought it
that's
was one, but
copyright. Let me
it may
shut up.
be. Do not get this muted. It already mutes the very end of my stream because it thinks our outro song is some kind of French song or something like that. And I have to contest it every week instead of just getting a new
Using
song.
cast scorings adds different properties. Hold on. Maybe if I add the item, it'll tell me because it doesn't tell me on the thing. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm
While
not
he's
sure
looking
if
that
it's
up, though.
if it's at will.
All right, look that up, and then anybody else? What are you guys doing?
Probably getting Luca, Nelly, Jane sorted, get the
Okay.
kids organized, and then probably taking the taking the orbs instead. Might as well do it in person. I'm gonna kick my
Oh,
ass anyway.
Ooh.
okay.
Ooh.
I hadn't thought about
I
one
was
of you.
correct. It is at will.
That will? Okay. We'll get back to that in just a second. So you're going to take the orb and talk to Sid directly?
Yep.
That actually works out because Izzy was going to Sid before this happened.
Okay, so you two will meet up there in just a second. Izzy, you do have to stop to do this scry. Nozak, you're going to head on over there. What's the DC on the resistance for it?
It's 17 when I'm holding the orb.
What kind of check?
Same for scry. Let's look it up.
Is that wisdom? Charisma.
I'm pretty sure, but I don't want to lie to you. I rarely cast scry.
It's just, let me know because it's on the brink.
It's wisdom.
It's wisdom. Okay, so this is successful. As you kind of pull over to the side and look into the ball, it starts to swirl in the middle, and eventually you see Hikael's presence kind of formulate in the ball itself. And with him are the two people you recognize as Grunthor's family. You don't recognize the terrain. The terrain that they're in seems to be a plain of some kind that you actually haven't been across in your travels so far. There's not a lot to go on. There's not a lot of like land markers that you can see. That's why I'm not even call for a perception check. There's not really anything around. You have no idea where this is.
What does the ground look like?
The ground looks like basically just kind of it's very flat, kind of grassland, but the grass is browner. It's not like a rich, fresh grass. It looks almost like the grass is underwatered and possibly dry, brittle.
Okay, so that answers my suspicion. He's either on this island in the Zephyr Sea, in the Garland Empire, or he's in the Beastlands.
Don't know.
Or could the Golden Saucer. One of those.
Could be at the Golden Saucer.
That would be
that would be a reason to me. That would be a reason to get me to drive you all to the Golden Saucer. I hadn't thought about that.
The new one shot we play.
Oh yeah, the Golden Saucer will be just like a fun little like mini campaign or something. We'll just spend like 2 episodes just digging around in the Gold Saucer playing casino games.
So I think that's what comes to his head, and he just kind of sighs, not wanting to let him handle it, but he also wants his brother to be able to focus. So he just puts his orb back and heads back to what he was doing.
Okay. Perfect. So Izzy and Nozak are currently converging towards Sid to give him the bad news that they blew up his airship. The only functioning airship, I just want to remind you, in the world at the moment, got blown up not once but twice. So before we get into that conversation, Blake, Grunthor, Ava, is there anything that you all want to do? Before I have to channel a very mad rabbit.
I think Blake would just be going to whatever room she stayed in before.
Okay. Yeah, the rooms that
And
you
just
stayed in
kinda-
before have been set aside for you again. They're all still kept up. You basically have standing rooms here in the presidential or palace or house. It's not really a palace.
I think she would probably try to like wrangle. I nearly called her chicken. She would probably try to wrangle Duchess and get her, and then go back to her room and check all of the corners for that fucking robot.
You don't have to check the corners for the robot because as soon as you open the room, it's actually just sitting there on the bed, just kind of dangling off the side of the bed and just looking in your direction. It almost looks like it's been shut down in some kind of stasis mode, but the minute that you come into the room, it's like "Bloop." It just kind of hops down
Ugh.
and just shuffles over to you and then just stands in front of you expectantly, just kind of looking at you.
Oh,
Give me a give me an insight check.
I don't like. Okay, insight's okay. I'm changing this fucking dice. God damn it!
You've rolled bad for
This
multiple
die.
episodes now.
All
See?
of these dice
I-
are awful. Can I make a
Like-
Can I make a GoPro like dice camera
Just roll it
and
yourself.
roll my own? Yeah, can I just roll my own fucking
Dusty,
dice?
I have told you every time we have this conversation, I say you can't trust the gem dice. They get you every time.
They pull you in.
But they're
with
so
the-
pretty.
yeah, they pull you in with their prettiness, and then they're loaded towards one.
They're disrespectful and rude.
Yeah, this thing just still kind of creeps you out a little bit. As you kind of step around it, it kind of just follows you. It's not really doing anything, but just following you.
Cute.
Can I tell Duchess to like take it to Nozak?
Yeah. As you say that, Duchess just kind of cocks her head, looks at the thing, comes around behind it, and just with her beak kind of grabs it around the neck, lifts it off the ground, and then just trots out. And
Thank
you don't
you.
see it again. The last thing you do see right before she turns the corner is the eyes just kind of catch yours, and they just watch you until it's gone around the corner.
I hate that fucking robot. She doesn't say that
I
because she's a
love it.
lady. But
I love it. And I'd forgotten about it. So thank you for mentioning that.
I'm so glad to help.
I totally forgot that you guys left
Yes.
the robot there.
I'm
Good
just
times.
so, anything I can do to make your life better, DM.
You do on a weekly basis. Make my life better. All of you, all 5 of you, make my life wonderful. So are you turning in for the night?
DM?
Yeah.
You get an inspiration.
Cool. I'll take it. Anybody? Oh, by the way, if anyone ever wants to give me inspiration, I will take it, and I will use it.
Do we get inspiration for giving you inspiration because we're so nice?
No. I give you all inspiration for puns, which has been abused or used. Let's not say abused. It's been used wonderfully over the course of 43 episodes. So I think it balances out. I never get inspiration. No one ever gives me inspiration. Every week I run this game and no one ever says, take some inspiration, DM. It's like you all are against me. Anyway. Granthor, is there anything you would like to do?
If Ava has not headed off, I would like to try and see if I can speak to him.
Yeah, Ava, that would be up to you.
Yeah, Ava would still be around. I was actually going to try and find you, so that's perfect.
What did you say your name was?
Ava. Ava. Just call me Ava.
You seem to have known me. You called me Sir Grunthor. You answered a few questions.
Yes, yeah, we've all known you. That's why we're all a little off-put. But everybody here knows you. Well, knew you.
GM, I'd like to roll inspiration, not inspiration, insight, just to make sure I believe what he's saying to me.
Giving it to everybody tonight. All right, yeah, go ahead and roll me an insight. I'd like to give myself inspiration for the amazing RP I'm about to do. 1.
Nozak needs it.
You don't necessarily believe what you're saying. There's even with okay. There's parts of it that click because you did just have a remembrance of Sarah and the Sir, so that clicks. But you don't necessarily trust how he knows you. That could be common knowledge. I mean, you were knighted that you remember in front of others, so he could have just known this. But you still don't feel very open and trusting towards him.
I assume that we have battled together.
Aye, that we have. We spilled a lot of blood together. We've saved a lot of people together. And I'll imitate Sir Gunther's battle thing that he used to do when he used to like bring someone in close and kind of like not headbutt them, but kind of like unite heads if he lets me.
He reaches for you. What do you do?
I'd like to roll again insight to see if it's like an aggressive.
Go for it.
It's like a slow approach. I'm not like kung fu martial arting, but it's
the least aggressive person in this group.
Give me an insight check still, really quick.
Ooh, these dice.
10.
That is tragic.
You don't necessarily feel comfortable with him coming at you, but looking at him, you've seen him battle a little bit. You would at least know that if he wanted to grab you, he would have already. You've seen him. He's quick. He's very adept with hand to hand. The way that he's reaching for you, if he were trying to strike you, he would be moving in a very different fashion. You still don't know what he's trying to do, though.
I'm going to flinch, but kind of allow him to.
Okay. Then Ava, what are you doing again?
What I remember Sir Gunther did to us on the airship when he said his goodbyes to us, when he would kind of bring us close and kind of he would like kind of touch heads. Yeah.
As his forehead connects to yours, give me a history check.
Woohoo, -1.
Let's go.
I love that you pick a character. It makes sense. You picked the way you built this character. He doesn't have memories. It makes sense he has a -1 in history. But I rely on those to see what you remember. As he holds you there,
those dice are horrible. I'm changing dice again.
So let's see. What's that? The flourishing dice set and the gemstone dice set, right? Those are the two that we're avoiding.
Well, it was the Rime of the Frost Maiden and Flourishing so far.
Okay. Well, Blake's are the gemstone, so that's 3 now. 3 to avoid.
Oh God.
So
allegedly.
Please don't sue us, D&D Beyond. All the dice are perfectly balanced using a physics system that they designed. So, as he holds you there for just a moment,
sorry,
there's a moment to where it just goes on a little too long, and it's a little awkward. Nothing comes to you. It's just this man that puts his forehead against yours and then pulls away.
Was that some sort of ritual?
Yes, that's how you used to say your that's how you used to perform your goodbyes and your thank yous and your camaraderie for your teammates. It was quite interesting.
Quite.
Yeah. Doesn't ring a bell for you at all.
So cringe. I love it.
By the way, for anyone wondering what it was, when I started doing that, it's like a Maori greeting from New Zealand, if anyone knows
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now it's just an
I
awkward
used
thing
it. I
Ava
used
does
it
to
the
people.
opposite. I use it in the opposite way to say goodbye.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, Grunthor, I got you.
I'm like, well, that large bird, I feel like I know it, but it seems to not like me.
Yeah, she seems to be a little scared of you. It's your companion, Duchess. You've raised her since she was a chickling, right? Since she was a little baby.
That is not lady?
Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, you found her. She had just recently hatched, so she was a little bit grown, but just very small. I'm sorry. What did you say, Grunthor?
No,
That's not lady.
lady.
Yeah,
Lady.
I asked if
lady
that
was your last. Lady was your last chocobo. It's the one that's passed. She was injured.
Ava, you would remember. Yes, she was injured by poachers, and Lady is Duchess's mother.
It's the mother to Duchess. Lady entrusted you with the care of Duchess on her dying wish, it seems like.
Would there happen to be like a post, like for a sign or anything like that, like a wooden one nearby?
It depends on where you're having this conversation. Would you have left the... I was kind of imagining you hadn't left the room yet. If that's the case, then
Okay.
no. You'd still be in like an office area, very much similar to what you might see as like the presidential office. Now, if you caught up with him on the street, then yeah, there would be street signs away. So it depends, Ava, would you have just kind of taken off or hung around to talk to Grunthor once everybody started dispersing?
I kind of assumed it would be like on the way out, Grunthor started talking, so I kind of assumed this was maybe a walk and talk.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're probably still in the building. So looking around, there's not like a wooden sign or anything, but there's like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but there's tables. If you're just looking for like a wooden stick or something. But tell me what you're trying to do.
I
A wooden what?
was
Like a stick?
Okay. I did not hear stick.
No, time out. I want to know what she's.
I do too. What did you think I said?
I thought you said a wooden deck, and
Oh,
I was like,
oh no, stick. Get your
Episode
mind
42. Out
your
of
mind
context.
out of the gutter.
Wow, Cat, that was real ballsy of you.
After
Inspiration for Izzy. First pun of the night. Oh my god.
You're welcome.
I also think I found the clip for this episode. So starting
A
with
wooden-
a wooden dick.
stick.
Anyway,
well,
now I don't know what you're trying to do. What were you trying to do?
Wasn't looking for a wooden dick.
That's good. It sounds painful.
Yeah, that would have split. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's like Splinter City right there. That would be.
Especially if you were
Alright.
just gonna grab a signpost. Ugh. Yeah. This new Grunthor, by the way, we're trying to really establish new Grunthor is not old Grunthor. In case you missed that.
Not Grunthor is
Not
our
Grunthor.
nickname currently.
Right, yeah.
So in frustration to my memory issues and not really, with everything that's happening and that we're not going after the Empire right now,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why are we here? Why are we wasting time? And I kind of slam my fist down onto like a table.
Okay. Just real quick, give me a. I know you're not trying to do anything, so just give me a straight up strength check. You're pretty strong, right?
Oh my god.
20 for natural 20.
Yeah.
Okay. As he does
Let
this, he
darkness
turns around.
consume you.
He brings his hand up and just slams it into this table. And as his fist hits it, there's this loud cracking noise as it just goes straight through. And there's this rather large table that's just kind of sitting in the hallway that you were walking through that he just punches straight in half as it breaks and collapses down on itself. Everything that was on it just starts falling to the floor, clattering and smashing. Some like oil lanterns that were sitting there, not lit, fall, and just the glass goes everywhere. And you just hear as people all over the place just stop and turn to look at you.
Oh, I can fix that, and I'll cast Mending on the table.
Poor Ava.
Start setting things up, pushing it back together. It'll
It's
take
just
more than it'll take like a cast or two, just to kind of
Oh,
get
yeah,
through the
that's
whole
fine.
table. And then there's glass everywhere. You can start to hear
Yep,
murmurs
yep.
kind of going through just the passerbys, and you've got a small crowd just kind of whispering amongst themselves and looking at the two of you.
Grunthers. It's a little complicated on why we can't just go after the Empire right now. Have you noticed any wind lately?
I kind of just stop for a
And
second and see if I can
we're
feel
inside.
anything.
That's a little bit of a loaded
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
because we're inside currently. But when we were out battling, did you notice any wind?
Would I have, GM?
You know what I'm going to ask for. Give me a history check.
Oh my god. You can't be
Ooh.
doing this.
12. There's been a lot going on, but the heat of the battle and everything. But you did notice, especially that night you were keeping watch, the lack of a breeze. You didn't really think too much of it at the time because you've got a lot on your mind. There's a lot going on. But really thinking about it, you didn't feel that breeze, and you didn't notice the flames dancing the way that they should, were there a light breeze. The flames almost looked unnatural, as though they existed on their own without that external kind of just give and take with the nature around it. So no, you didn't notice a breeze.
Are we near a window or anything like that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's easy enough to get to a window from where you are.
I'm going to do
second story.
something. Okay. I'm going to do something that might surprise Ava, but I'm going to point my fist out the window and cast Ray of Frost.
Okay. At what?
Hashtag random.
Just in
Just-
general?
Just in general, just to see like if icicle, snowflakes start dancing around
Dancing
like
in the
the wind or anything like that.
No, they do not. The ray of frost that you cast shoots out as you would expect, driven from the magic within yourself, kind of propelling it forward. But there's no just the flakes that come off just either kind of hang in the air or just slowly fall. There's no dancing. There's no wind. The air is still. For the first time, you kind of realize that the air isn't moving through like the hallways like you would expect, and it feels kind of still and almost stifling now that you're kind of aware of it, especially inside.
Except I don't breathe.
That's true. So scratch what I just said. Forgot about that. I put that in the character description and forgot about it. I'm a great DM, you all. I remember everything.
That's what we're here for.
I appreciate it.
When
I
I cast
appreciate
it, and I noticed that, I just turned to Ava. I'm like going, "What happened?"
What we're dealing with
The
right
Empire.
now. No. I wish it was the Empire's fault, but it's not.
Everything's the Empire's fault.
Well, Ava, I will say,
God, I wish.
and you can do with this what you will. You don't have to say anything. You do. There have been suspicions that the Empire has at least been in somewhat contact with the fiends. There was that coordinated attack between Cornelia from the water, so that there is
Yeah.
maybe a connection between the Empire, the fiends, and the draining of the crystals. Now, the actual that being said, the actual complete depletion of the crystals, well, you know. You know how that happened.
No.
So,
Actually, Grunthor, yes, that is a good point. The Empire is involved with it, and they're going after the other crystals too. Fire and the Earth crystals, and we need to stop them.
Do you know which one they're headed to first?
Both. But when they're headed to both at the same time, technically. There are these creatures called betrayers, or the fiends. At least one of them, if not all of them, have been in contact and in cahoots with the Empire in some way.
GM, does the mention of these things trigger anything for me?
I would say not quite. You didn't necessarily have such a personal connection with them. There are some of those other barriers that you got to break down before, like, those tertiary things will start kicking in. Does that make sense? There's still things like, view it like you're at the center, and then there's things closest to you, and then further out. You got to break through a couple barriers first. So the betrayers, this is all just kind of new information to you.
The betrayers are allies to the Empire, and we have to stop them before we can deal with the Empire.
Maybe we could take them all in one stroke.
Well, maybe 2 strokes, but I love your ambition. Our plan, we don't have a solid plan yet, but our plan is to stop the betrayers, get the crystals back in functioning, and then stop the Empire.
Crystals?
Oh, fuck, you really don't remember anything.
You're starting to realize that this Grunthor is almost like a blank slate at this point. What is your passive, though? Your passive perception.
Passive what? Who's?
Sorry, Ava.
Oh. Passive perceptions?
Ava,
My passive perception 17.
So what you will have noticed over the past day and a half is, now that you're talking to him, he seems like a blank slate. But there are some things that you have picked up on. He does seem to still be gravitating towards Sara. You weren't able to hear them, but you would have been able to catch them at least having that small conversation earlier today, after the whole Izzy thing. So there's parts of you that are conflicted, because parts of you see that there are elements of that old Grunthor, but as you're talking to him now, he seems like a newborn almost. I mean, basic motor skills and all that, but as far as knowledge, just seems wiped. Worse than when you first met him.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you need to say?
I think that was all Ava had, unless Grunthor has anything else.
Well, based on my previous roles, not fully trusting Ava, let alone the group. Like, as long as our goals remain the same, I will do what I can to help you and the group.
Okay.
And at least me for you. I'll do anything I can to help you out as well.
As you all are just kind of standing talking, the crowd slowly kind of dissipates. There's a couple stragglers that still are watching just to see if you all are going to fight or something. But after you kind of just go back to conversing, they get bored and kind of just scoot away.
Because I was going to do one of those glares right at them. So anyone that's still around, I'm going to be giving them the stink eye.
You know what? Just for the hell of it, give me an intimidation roll. Because you got to be good at these. I want to make you feel good. There you go. There's one person that just kind of is still standing around, and you find him, and your eyes lock, and you can watch as the color just drains from his face, and he turns to just kind of briskly walk away. He catches his hip on the side of another table that's in the hallway, spins around and kind of clambers to the floor, knocking stuff off that table. There's other people in the the people that had started to walk away kind of turn around and look at him as he just red-faced, embarrassed, gets up and scrambles away, pushing through the crowd.
Embarrassing.
It'll be me.
So, speaking of you, when you make it over to Sid's workshop on the
Yeah.
eastern side of the town, you see that Izzy is just kind of landing as well. Give me a quick insight check. And then Izzy,
Okay.
let me know your level of concern about your brother at the moment. Like, do you think that this is something you would be outwardly showing? In
Oh
any
yeah, 100%. The thing about it
Okay.
is he's concerned, but you would be able to, but even if he wasn't worried about his brother, he would have a concerned look on his face.
Okay. Well, with a natural 20, as you're kind of walking up, you see Izzy there, and you notice the first thing you notice is he seems just a little distracted, and definitely like his mind is on something. You can see that he's still kind of just has the crystal ball, and when he notices you, he puts it away. But there's definitely something that's going on with Izzy, in addition to some of the things that you've noticed over the past, day and a half.
You're right there? Seem a bit lost in thought with everything going on.
Yes, I have a lot of work to do. He opens the door for you.
Well, thank you. Just letting you know, I did spend a few hundred years in the church, so I am used to confessional work if you need someone to talk to. And I'm gonna lift up the orb, and the homunculus is gonna start flying above me.
Okay. Are you going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The door opens up into a very, very nice, very well kept workshop. It is the workshops you're used to are a little dirtier, very hot. You worked in the forge. There's stuff. There's the soot, there's the heat. This workshop is almost the exact opposite of that. This is the workshop of an engineer. It's climate control. He's got a desk job, right? And you can see Sid sitting behind this really high table. So he's on a stool that's like taller, like half as tall as Izzy. As he's just kind of sitting, he's got these goggles on, and they've got this kind of on one eye, this contraption that comes down and like 2 or 3 times and lets him look like a magnifying glass through one eye. As he just kind of glances up, pulls the goggles up off of his face, and immediately the first thing he notices is the orb that you've got. Oh, now what the fuck did you do?
In our defense, it wasn't us.
I ask you, he just takes the goggles off and throws them away. You had one job! One job!
Yeah.
What?
In fairness, you should probably blame your bosses. They're the ones that sent the thing that destroyed our ship.
The first time was the Quetzalcoatl. That wasn't our fault. I tried to move it so that it wouldn't hit the ship. The second time
You weren't even supposed to be driving it. That was actually one of the conditions, is you weren't supposed to be fucking driving it.
I wasn't driving it. Ava was driving it. Nobody else can handle the thing, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What were you trying to do? What were you trying to do?
We weren't trying. I was trying to stop the fucking thing flying in at Mach 10, whatever the fuck it is, and move that out of the way. Look, this is not important right now. We still have the core. I had to rebuild this shit twice. So I'm here to help to rebuild it and at least make it Nozak proof, because I know that's going to make you happier.
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. 15.
You think I would let you anywhere near one of my inventions? No. You're not coming anywhere close to this. I'll be surprised if I even get this done. What? And he kind of hops up on top of the desk and then just with his little bunny legs hops as far as he can until he lands right in front of you. Okay. Deep breaths. I can rebuild. I mean, we've got other ships I can use. Oh, God. You can see he's like internally struggling with himself. Give me the orb. I'll take a look at it and see if I can fix up this latest fuck up.
Do you want the help from the homunculus, or do you just want the orb?
Kind of looks the thing up and down. Did you do this?
Yes.
You know, that ain't half bad, really. Kind of looking at it. Gives it kind of a closer look. He looks around for his goggles. He realizes they're way back there, and he's like,
Can I use Mage Hand so you grab the goggles and like bring them over to him?
sure.
Because that is a
Kinda notices it.
cantrip.
Reaches out and takes it. Thanks. Puts him on, starts pulling with something. And then he reaches up to kind of grab the homunculus. He doesn't really ask you. He just kind of grabs it and pulls it down, and he starts turning it over, looking it up and down, and he's like, you know, kind of hate to say it, but this is some pretty good work.
Yeah, thank you.
You have an estimate on the ship?
Time or money?
Time.
Fuck
I
ton
think
of
it's
both.
pretty
I
obvious
don't know
we're
why
not
I
paying
asked.
for this.
Well, it's still gonna cost something. Shit don't happen for free.
Okay. Well, we don't pay you, so you should take that up with the people who run this place. Really quick, if you had help, how long would it take?
It depends on how you define help. Now, if you're talking just a bunch of people, you're gonna try to push in here, standing over my shoulder and trying to help and getting in the way, it'll take longer. If you're talking
Well, what if you
actual
just
help, which is
Can
really hard to
I
come by, might be able to cut
can
that
I
down a
try
little
and
bit.
like do an explanation of like with Izzy here to like help with a little bit of details, a bit like, yeah, no, it's true, fact checking and shit. Would I be able to explain how I've already rebuilt 2 rafts using the woods and the material from the original ship to try and like have a decent understanding of how that all worked?
You can. So kind of going over that, I'll let you do another persuasion check.
Okay.
And with advantage.
Okay.
nice.
Since Izzy can kind of pop in, and he did just kind of check out the homunculus.
22.
Yay.
So you got this thing crash twice.
The first time was the Guardian Force thing. You know about them, it's fine. Where it come flying through because we needed help because Grunthor
Sure.
died. Long story short, I tried to vortex warp it so
Grunthor
it didn't
died?
move.
Wait,
Oh
somebody
yeah,
died?
bitch. Okay, honey, so much shit has gone wrong. Fucking. Ooh, we need
These
to
two
talk.
old gay men.
We need to talk. So Quetzalcoatl came in. I tried to use the vortex warp because it, like, teleports space and time, whatever the fuck, and it
Yeah.
hit the edge of the ship. Because of the speed that it was going in, obviously the ship with the resistance, and then we're gonna go into this massive talk about just numbers and aerodynamics and shit like that.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. It hit the ground. It exploded. And we were like, fuck. Okay, fine. So then I used the materials and the woods. I rebuilt it, made a raft, everything. We were fine all the way too. And then another fucking empire had to come in. He exploded the thing, and I was like, fucking, I just rebuilt this. Sid's already gonna hate me, so then I had to rebuild another one, which is basically a part. We still have like some of the materials that we could salvage after the second rebuild, so we at least have our base. But
Well,
that's
there's that, at
literally
least, I
all we
guess.
have.
So you
I've already
managed,
rebuilt
you
it
put
twice.
together a raft, hobbled your way back here on a raft and this orb.
The first one was like a balloon, a hot air balloon basket. Yeah, but the second one was a raft.
Fuck. I gotta hand it to you. That's not too bad. All right, you can help. Nobody else. Not just getting away. And
That's
I
fair.
want you to do what I tell you to do. And it's don't try to go off book.
Done.
If we can do that, I think we can get this thing built in a relatively short time period. What I'm thinking is we just transfer the orb we got to one of the other airships. Well, non-functioning airships at the moment that we got just sitting there idle. Might be quicker to retrofit it than trying to make repairs on whatever the fuck you brought back.
Yeah. Are we doing mechanics, steam, or electricity?
I wonder. He seems to not be even listening to you at the moment. I wonder if we could. Yeah, if we upgraded, that might work.
Izzy, this could take a little while.
Yeah.
Is
Do you
there
have a
anything else
direct
that you want me
estimate
to...
or not?
He's not paying attention to you. He's like looking in the, and he's kind of mumbling to himself. If I take this and we redo
I'm
that,
gonna press a couple of buttons on my gauntlet. It's gonna spit out a bit of paper, and I'm gonna use my mage hand to just pull a pencil or something off of his desk. And we were like, "This is gonna take a while. Izzy, do you want me to just write down a couple of questions that you want me to ask him during the process?"
No, I have other things I need to do. Have fun. And he turns and leaves.
Okay. I'm gonna use the mage hand, put the pencil back, and just kind of scrunch up the paper, stick it in a pocket.
after a minute, he kind of comes back to himself. Hey, where'd your friend go?
You were in a trance of numbers and equations, so he kind of just dipped.
I don't fucking need him anyway. All right, now listen.
we
I
don't.
don't want you to get the wrong idea. I'm still pissed. All right,
I'm
this
aware of that.
sucks, but I think we got an opportunity here to do something cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's between the two of us, you and me, right? We're gonna build this thing. We don't got input from anybody else.
Just us.
Bombs.
I'm so down for bombs. Did we already agree on this the last time we were here?
We did, but the rest of them vetoed it.
Oh yeah, no, they're not here. Who cares what they say?
That's what
they're
I'm
not gonna
saying.
know. We can hide
bombs.
them, right?
Nobody's gonna know.
Can we
Who's
call
gonna
them
know?
ball bombs?
Bomb.
This week on Kupo Quest, the survivors do war crimes.
I will say, bombs might have helped you before.
Oh, 100%.
I'm gonna look at Sid, and I'm just gonna be like, the Empress has wanted us to work together for a long time. Before all of that, you were aware of that, yeah? That wasn't just a people talking kind of situation.
Yeah, no, I
just stayed away from the whole thing.
I knew. I just refused. There was
that's fair.
Something you got to understand. Nothing personal.
Oh no!
I mean, after I met you,
anyway.
it became personal. But there was a when I first got down here, I gravitated towards the Empire just because that's where the action was. That's where we were building things. That's who had the resources to build shit.
Yep.
As time went on, I got a little disillusioned with the whole thing. But I heard about you.
Yeah.
True Empire man through and through. Honestly, I just didn't want to do it anymore. Started being more reclusive. Wouldn't let people see me. More than half the people in Limblom didn't even know I was a Loprid. I became this kind of myth thing just because I kept to myself and never showed my face in public. When I did go out, I used some contraptions to kind of disguise myself. So just didn't want to get more tangled up in that shit, and I had to. Was all.
It's fair.
Now I just find you kind of annoying, but back then it wasn't personal.
That's okay. I do respect you as a engineer, as a creator, but while you are definitely better than me when it comes to that stuff, I have magic. So
I don't need magic. So
you can create some things. I mean, I rebuilt the raft. Then again, I did use a hammer and anything. Oh no. The hand
You want to
did
see
kind of help.
magic? You want to see some real magic? Just wait to see what I do with this airship. That's the real magic
Okay.
right there.
But one exception. We're adding bombs. Like, the bombs are there.
The fuck, yeah, the bomb should have been there in the first place.
Okay.
I don't know. You got some
Right.
pacifists with you or
We
something.
would
I
have
don't know.
we would have been fucking fine if we had the fucking bombs.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't let me put bombs on the damn thing.
I should have.
You got
just
the
fucking
only
smuggled
airship
some.
in the whole world. Put some bombs on it. I mean, war over.
Right.
Whatever. Anyway, let's get to work.
Yes,
Dark Knight.
that's
The
how
Dark Knight could've been
war
fucking
works.
bombed. Could have just bombed the Dark Knight. That would have been fine. Maybe
Now, I
Grandpa
would like to
lived
point
after that
out
one.
these are both defectors, but they are both people who spend a vast majority of their time and energy thinking like Imperials. Just so you know.
You can't live and work in an Imperial Empire city for almost 1,000 years and not want to commit at least one.
And you know
Geneva
that Noctis...
Convention is more like a Geneva suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. You know that Noctis is thinking, if we just level the place, we're not fighting them anymore. So I will say this.
Like, just had a moment.
Is there anything else people want to do before we go to bed and get our long rest?
Yes, Izzy has one last thing he has to do.
All right, Izzy, what you got?
He is going to leave, and he is going to. I don't remember. Did Queen Sara say where she was going?
Not to you.
Okay, cool. He is going to go to the room she stayed in last time, and try and look and knock on the door. And if she's not there, he's going to actually make an effort to try to find her.
Okay. You knock, and you wait a minute, 2 minutes. There's no answer. Nobody comes to the door.
Cool. Then he's going to go try to find her.
Okay, perception check.
Yeah. Nice. That's 17.
You do not
Hell
find her. Flying around, looking at any place you think she might be, she's not there. You start to get the feeling she may be avoiding the group or you.
Okay.
But she is somewhere
He's
she's
gonna-
trying. She does not want to be found at the moment.
Okay,
And-
cool. He's going to cast Scrying.
Okay. Wisdom of what?
17.
She passes. As you
Ooh,
try to
lit.
scry,
Wow.
remember, she's a cleric. So her wisdom's okay.
Oh, yeah, I assumed.
So you can see her start to form, and then it just kind of fades out. And you find yourself just looking at this crystal ball.
Okay, cool. He sighs because this is annoying. But he I think if that's not something he can work on, then he's going to go to his own room and he's going to start planning.
Okay. With that, Nozak and Sid begin work. Izzy starts to plan. Blake is turning in for the night, hoping to have a very relaxing day at the spa. Not a care in the world. Blake's like, and Grunthor and Ava.
Blake's like, I need a shower. I need a bath.
So with that, the day comes to a close. You all do get a long rest.
I just want to say, Nozak, you are so lucky that the at everyone is restricted, because I absolutely would have tagged at everyone, even though it's 10:51 local time.
But see,
To
that's the
be
thing.
like,
Just quickly, it still is for you guys. It's not for me anymore, but it still is for you guys. So that was
yeah.
I was gonna make another joke about it all, but no.
You live in the future.
Anyway,
what we're talking
next
about is it
time
was
on
Nozak's
Kupo
birthday yesterday, and we all didn't know.
Happy
And now
birthday!
happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Oh my god.
You can't sing that either, right? You can't even sing that.
Yeah, no, that's DMCA. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah,
sing
don't do that.
either.
Oh, I'm gonna get banned again. Now tens
I
of
didn't
people
sing the
know.
whole song. It was just that bit.
Saved by the copyright. Let's go.
So Morning
a whole 47 years old.
You
47.
absolute cunt.
47's a great age. I mean, I wouldn't know because I haven't hit it yet, but 47's a great age. I'm sure.
I would prefer
memories.
I would prefer y'all be 47 because then I wouldn't be like nearly the oldest. But
No, you're not. We'll talk about our ages off stream. We're back.
Anyway,
I was going to say I have a tangent that will probably get way too long, but
let's save it.
You kids.
All right.
No,
so
that's it, DM. I want my gun now.
Oh, it's coming.
You're not in America. You don't get a gun.
Yeah, only the Americans get guns. Yeah, you show us your constitution that says you can have it. All right.
I got a constitution of 17. I got a +3 for my constitution. Does that count?
No.
Yeah,
Yes,
but even more
the main gun stat.
Yeah.
Even more scarily, he may throw a poisonous snake at you.
Oh yeah. Oh geez. Australian guns just launch spiders. So, okay.
Sorry.
Knock on the door. Morning comes. And it's really early as you hear this knock on the door, Blake. And you're even still kind of half asleep. The sun just kind of coming through the window just a little bit through the curtains. You have no idea who's at your door, but it's a very fast, very energetic kind of knock.
I guess would Duchess be in my room or would she be elsewhere?
Duchess probably would have come back after dropping off the automaton. Although never actually finding Nozak, because I'm assuming, Nozak, were you working all night, or do you think you would have gone back to your room?
I probably would have worked most of the night and probably slept for like maybe 3 hours, just on the floor in the workshop.
Okay.
Duchess probably dropped come back to his room, and he's going to have forgotten about the automaton and be like, "What the hell?"
We're like, "Oh fuck yeah, I forgot about that."
What is this again? So yeah, Duchess would have returned probably 20 minutes after you sent her out.
All right. So I guess Blake is going to kind of stumble from the bed and just kind of try to keep Duchess from losing her mind, because I assume somebody like quickly knocking at my door would like get
She's
her.
on alert. She's kind of popped up and her eyes have just kind of darted to the door, and she's just slowly standing, but she's not hacking the door. Like she's not charging or anything.
Yeah, Blake is just going to try to like put a hand out and just be like, "It's okay." Although she's going to look at Duchess and be like, "If it's that damn robot, you take it out, okay?"
All right, what are you doing?
And then she's going to just kind of like peek the door open with just like one eye.
Okay. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
If it's that goddamn robot.
Come to finish the job, have you?
Yeah.
Can she have advantage?
All of these dice hate me!
4. You open the door, you turn the knob and you pull the door open. And as soon as there's like, it's kind of cleared the jam there, the door flies open, knocking you back as it just gets hit. And then all of a sudden you feel yourself being tackled to the ground as Angelo just puts his hands up and paws you onto the ground and just starts licking your face. You're tiny, so it's not that hard for him to knock you over. As you hear Renoa from behind, "Jill, get over here. I'm so sorry." She just starts kind of pulling on his collar. "Get off of her." "Did we wake you? I know it's kind of early. Are you okay?"
Yeah. A little bit. I'm awake now.
Perfect. I had an idea. How would you feel about a girls' day? She kind of looks at you. She goes, "I sent Squall
Blake,
to set up some reservations at the ball and bath house. I figured maybe we could get an early start, go over and just have some time before all the other show up."
kind of thrown off by the word girls' day. But then like once Renoa kept on explaining it, then I was like, "Oh, that makes more sense."
And I've also sent Squall over to run interference and then just kind of bring them over, those that want to come later. He was very happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, I'll be downstairs whenever you're ready. Sorry, what?
Do I need to bring anything for Girls' Day?
You don't need anything. No, they've got everything there. We've already got it set up. I've got a couple of appointments scheduled. You don't have to come with me, but it's been a long time since I've actually had a chance to just kind of relax. And I'm kind of excited about it. And I just wanted to hang out. I did invite Sarah, but she said she wasn't really feeling up to it. She's kind of looking at you a little expectantly, really hoping that you'll latch onto this idea.
Yeah, no, Blake is still just kind of baffled about like what a girl's day is. Like, it's just not something that
you probably done.
Like, you know, yeah, like hot springs, yes, but like the rest of it is just so it's like it's like, you know, like when like you're listening to somebody who's speaking a language that like you've taken like, you know, like the 101, so it's like
kind
you
of
can pick out like every other word. Yeah, and you're like, I understand kind of what you're saying, but the rest of it, like the words surrounding that idea are just so it's like, sure, yeah, that sounds
perfect.
I understand.
So here's what I've got us booked. I tried to get us a couple things in the morning so that we could have some time before all of the boys show up and just ruin everything because that's what they do. But so I've got some massages planned, and then I'm going to get a manicure because look at these things. And she just kind of holds up her hands and she's like, you would think that being the vice president of a war nation would be a lot easier on the nails, but it's really bad on your nails. So here's what we're gonna do. I'll meet you downstairs in like 5-10 minutes, and then we'll head over. I'm so excited. I'm so glad you're gonna do this, and it's gonna be nice to just get away for a little bit because, right? She's like bubbly and way more awake than you are at this point. Like she seems like she's been up for a while and has maybe had a little coffee. Like she's almost bouncing.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what the kids call it nowadays?
She's bouncing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll meet you downstairs. I'll meet you downstairs, okay?
All right. Yeah, I'll be downstairs.
Okay. And then she kind of turns, Angelo, come on. The dog just kind of looks back and forth and then eventually follows Renoa out after giving you one last lick and then runs for the door.
Blake is just going to kind of look at Duchess and be like, did you understand any of that?
There's like, Duchess kind of cocks her head to the side and you almost swear you see like one eyebrow raise over one of her eyes. And then there's just like there's this look that she gives you like, give me an insight check.
Duchess is female. Could she join?
A girl's girl.
What am I doing? Insight?
Yeah, insight.
Okay, fuck these die!
13. It's hard to tell. You kind of get the feeling that you swear it can't be, but the look on her face almost conveys course. Didn't you? But surely that can't be what she's thinking. She's a chocobo. There's no way she understood all that stuff.
Okay, so I feel like Blake would get the idea that there's going to be other people like around that she doesn't know. And probably her clothes have been like maybe like washed in like a cold stream, but not like she hasn't had like it's been like trail for a very long time, so she's gonna be like going through her. I think she's gonna try to find like something to change into that's not grody.
Okay.
Because she's grody right now.
There's what you have, and then in the room themselves, there are some more generic clothes, but most of them are humanoid size, so they'll be a little big on you.
I was gonna say, I think like if she can just find like just something kind of like a shift, like just like a plain shift type,
Okay.
like nightgown dress, like just a plain A-line dress,
Okay.
sleeves.
Perfect. That's easy enough to find.
Covers all the important stuff. Yeah.
Easy enough to find.
Shoes that won't like hurt her feet, like that just sort of thing.
Okay.
Simple colors.
Okay. Are you taking Duchess with you?
I think Blake would leave the door open and like kind of like if Duchess wanted to come and just kind of laugh and chocobo at how awkward Blake is going to be for the rest of the day.
I mean,
yeah.
Duchess is a girl, so
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
So like I feel like if Duchess decided that she was going to come, Blake would make an excuse to let her be there.
Okay.
And if Duchess wanted to wander around the day and kind of like, watch after the kids or
Gotcha.
just
Okay.
be away, like have her own girl day away from everybody,
She's like, I need
she
a
would
break,
understand
y'all.
that too. Yeah.
All right.
I need to get away from these fuckers.
So as you're going down to meet, Renoa, Ava, are you in your room?
Either still in his room or just leaving to try and find someone.
Okay. You go to open the door, and as you open the door, Squall is there actually getting ready to knock, and there's a moment where he gets a little surprised. Oh, you're up. Good. Where are you going?
I was gonna try and find Sara.
Cool.
Why?
Look,
I'm
not gonna beat around the bush here. Renoa asked me to keep an eye on you guys. Make sure you stay away from the bathhouse. She's having some private. I don't know. Just can you just tell her that I did, and don't go over there till like noon if you're gonna go.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Whatever. All right. See you later. He just turns
Yep,
and walks
good talk.
off. So,
This image of Squall sitting in front of the bathhouse, just like I have no idea why I'm here. But you can't fucking come in.
In my head, this is how I've got Squall, and how I play Squall is he's this very confident, very assured leader. People respect him, but he basically is just Renoa has him wrapped around her finger, and he just will do whatever she asks him to do, no matter how stupid he thinks it is. So, with that, Blake, let's jump back to you for just a second. You make your way over to the Balam bathhouse with Renoa. And it is a place unlike you've ever been before. When you walk in, you're immediately hit with this aroma that kind of reminds you a little bit of home, just a tad. There's some kind of cedar in there, and then you hear the sounds of nature. Very calm, birds. Sounds like the trickle of a stream or something. It's immediately kind of puts you in a state of relaxation. And, that's kind of juxtaposed by Renoa's just your excitement. Like everything in here is super relaxed and chill, and Renoa is just bouncing. As soon as you go through the door, it's the two of you, and there's the damn duck. I saw the duck. There's the two of you, and Angelo comes in with you. And one of the people at the door kind of come up to Renoa. I'm sorry, ma'am. We're going to have to ask you to leave your pet outside. She goes, oh, no. You don't understand. This is my emotional support dog. He has to be here. I can't handle it without her. And let's see.
Aww.
The guy kind of cocks his eyebrow. He's not really buying it. She goes, she's a druid that's pretending to be a dog? And he just is looking at her. Okay, can I just bring the damn dog in? And then he just, fine, just don't tell anybody. Thank you. And she kind of turns back to you, Blake. Well, so what should we do first? Okay, so what I was thinking is we could have a nice, just relaxing massage, and then maybe just catch up a little bit in like the steam room or something. And then I was thinking we could get our nails done like before lunch or something. And we could grab some, like a late brunch, let's call it, because I want an excuse to drink mimosas.
To be really honest, since you've knocked on my door, I understand some of the words you're saying, but a lot of them, this is not something I've ever done. So whatever you think is the best,
You've never been to a place like this? Oh my God, you are in for such a treat. I
mean, we have hot springs back at home.
Oh.
No. But no.
Those are nice. You are in for a level of just relaxation like you've never experienced. You're going to forget all about everything going on outside of these walls. That is my guarantee to you.
That'll be nice.
All right. I know what we're going to do. Come on. And she kind of grabs your hand and just starts pulling you through. Angelo running behind you, and you can see all the heads turning, watching the dog follow you. Renoa does not give 3 shits.
I just really like the image of like Renoa just totally not registering that Blake is like the size of a toddler and Renoa is like a grown ass human.
Yeah.
So she's just in full stride and Blake is like running.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a mom dragging her like 5-year-old through the spa for some reason, like a mommy-daughter day. So you spend the next hour, like she takes you back and she signs you up for this deluxe package. So you spend the next couple hours in what is essentially this whirlwind of just people pampering you. Here's what I need from you. How would Blake feel about this? You and Renoa at this point are kind of the center of attention as there's people coming in and out. Some money's being thrown around here, obviously, and they are treating you both like royalty. There are drinks that are brought out by about 30 minutes in. Whatever high Renoa was on has gotten even worse as she's starting to day drink really early in the morning. She is really enjoying herself. She signed you up for individual massages. Like she said, she signed you up for a manicure later towards lunch, and then some kind of. She called it a facial. You're not really sure. She was trying to explain it to you. It sounded like someone's just going to rub your cheeks. It sounds really weird, and you're not really sure what to do with it. But I want to know how Blake reacts in this situation.
I think Blake would just have no idea what to do, and so anytime somebody was like, "Would you like this?" she's like, "Sure."
I love it because I also love it because Blake has no concept of like a spa. So every time she says sure, it costs somebody 100 gil. You know?
Yeah.
Would you like an extra ice cube? That'll be $200.
Well, no, and every time like somebody's like, "Well, what color nail polish would you like?" she's just like, "What do you think would look like?" This sort of thing, like where it's just like putting it back on the other person because like she just has no idea like what the protocol is or like how, and also like she's not really used to people, like she's used to like she's the one that's usually in the like service position, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. No,
so
yeah,
she's
it does.
just like, so she's just baffled, like she's like trying to be as small as possible and like or like, you know, somebody like brought her like if her towel wasn't hot, they would be like, "Oh, is it warm enough?" And she'd be like, "Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. It's so hot that I can barely touch it. It's freezing cold." Like that sort of thing. Like she just does not want to make a nuisance of herself, and she doesn't have like the actual like everything is just like, "Oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be because this is how it is right now," and I have no frame of reference, and I actually don't really know what's happening.
There's
So-
a moment. There's a moment
This is when we
to
find
where
out Blake was a waitress back home and not a cleric.
yeah. She's been faking this whole time. She just found she was a waitress and someone left one of those like, "Have you found Jesus" tips or something, and she's like, "I haven't," and that's how she became a cleric. So, there's this one moment to where, what do you think Blake would relax in this situation, or do you think that it would make her more tense?
I think people touching her would make her tense, and knowing that there is some amount of expense and not knowing what exactly she's supposed to do
Sure.
would make her tense. So like if it's something like a sauna, like where she can kind of like be alone and like she would get, I think she would get more out of like hot springs or like listening to the things than having people touch her.
Okay.
Or having people like ask for or need her input on how to do expensive things to her.
Got it.
That's not really her comfort zone.
Do expensive things to me, baby.
Hey.
So the majority of the morning goes by slowly as you're kind of out of your comfort zone. I imagine some of the things are relaxing to some degree, and others just make you more tense. Eventually, after a while, you find yourself in this. It's a warm room. Very much reminds you of a hot spring. And you don't know why, but someone has brought out and just kind of sat next to you this little plate that has 2 very tiny slices of cucumber on it, and you're not really sure. I guess it's supposed to just be a light snack. You're not sure.
I was gonna say she'd eat them. If they're supposed to go in her eyes, she'd eat them.
As you kind of eat them, the person comes back and then notices they're gone, gives you just kind of a very odd look, and then just kind of leaves. And for the first time, it's quiet. You're alone. You kind of feel this little bit of peace kind of come over you. And that's when you hear the door open. And Renoa comes in. "Oh, good, you're done too!" And she kind of plops down in the little, like, loungy chair next to you. She takes her cucumbers and puts them right on her eyes. And now you see what you were supposed to do as she just kind of leans back, places them there. "So how was it? Have you enjoyed yourself?" By the way, she's not looking at you. She's just kind of talking to you with like these cucumbers in her eyes, lying down, looking up at the ceiling. Are you asleep? She kind of pulls up one of the cucumbers and looks over at you. It can be very relaxing. I wouldn't blame you if you went to sleep.
Just trying to get my like Blake is like, I guess she's sitting in a chair and she just has her like knees up against her chest and is in like full like fetal, like sitting up like fetal curl, like don't touch me, like please, like kind of defensive, like protective.
So Renoa kind of notices your body language and she takes off the other cucumber and kind of sets it down, swings her legs off to the side and sits up and looks at you. Is everything okay? You seem tense. I was hoping this would relax you. I'm sorry, was this too much?
It's been wonderful. Everybody's been very kind to me and mostly accommodating of the fact that I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know what to do. It's just it's just a lot. And I'm a little sensitive to people touching my skin, and there's been a lot of people touching my skin.
That's a good point, actually. And you have found the last couple hours distracting because while you've gotten adept at turning it on and off when you want to, this is a more of a tense situation. You would have gotten flashes of people's live streams as they were
Yeah.
touching you, as they were doing things. You would have, even trying to shut it out, gotten a little bit of insight, which would have, I think, made it a little bit hard for you.
Yeah. I think just like being overwhelmed and having like trying to process like just a lot of information, like not just the information that is being transmitted by them touching her, but just every like where she is and just a lot of information all at the same time.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. I just kind of got excited. I'm sorry. This wasn't really your thing, was it?
I mean, I like this, the hot spring, the warm
sauna? Yes.
bath or hot.
This is always nice. Angela won't come in here. It makes his fur all poofy, but this is one of my favorite places too.
I'm going to say, like, I think, like, Blake usually has her hair, like, twisted up and, like, braided back in kind of a way. I think she's, like, unbraided her hair to kind of give it a break, and it's probably going into the poof, and she's just like, yeah, I can relate.
Well, I was just trying to give you some time to relax. I know that things have been tense with everybody, and honestly, I just needed a little bit of time too, and we haven't really gotten to know each other that well since everybody kind of hit the ground running with everything. And I don't know, I thought it'd be a chance for us to just, get to know each other. You seem kind of quiet and I don't know. Thought we could talk. Is everything okay? I mean, was this... She kind of still... Your position is still withdrawn. If not, I mean, I know we're not that close. I'm sorry. I'm making a lot of assumptions today. I'm overstepping. I'm sorry. I got excited. I should have thought this through. I should have talked to you beforehand, before making all these plans. It was dumb. I'm sorry.
Well, it was really thoughtful. I really appreciate the thought. I'm not used to this.
Sure.
It's a strange turnaround for me. Normally I feel like I'm the one who's trying to take care of people, and so when it gets turned on to me, I don't know what to do with myself. It's a weird experience.
You gotta be able to let go every now and then, though. But I get that. I mean, there's a lot that goes into what we do here, and that's why I love this place. And it's actually why they let me bring Angelo in, because, they like to pretend they're not going to let him, and let her, and it's just a nice, fun little game we play, but I think they know that I need this. It's one of my favorite places, just to get away. I just thought it'd be fun to share it with somebody. But,
no, I can imagine, and it's beautiful. And I do like this.
This is one of my favorite rooms. Sometimes I can talk Squall into coming with me, but he tends to grumble a lot, and, then we get in here and he just doesn't want to talk at all. And, I don't know.
I'm sure he doesn't.
Hey! And, Sara, I invited her, but she seems, I don't know, something's going on with her. I haven't known her all that long, really. I mean, so I don't really know what she's like normally, but something seems to have happened since we talked to her last, it seems. I don't know. She seems very withdrawn, too, and... Let's hope she's okay. She seems like she's in a dark place, is all.
She's frustrated about...
I think we're all frustrated.
Yeah. No, and... I think she wants more support and going to do something, and not having that is kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
And I imagine she's trying to weighing her options.
Squall talked to her a little bit yesterday. Mentioned some things to me. I guess she's talking about, I don't know, taking more of an active role in this whole thing, and there's definitely concerns there, but I kind of see where she's coming from. I don't know. It's easy for me to say, I guess. I mean, we have resources. We're here. We're very active. I feel like we're doing something, and I try to imagine what it would feel like to not be able to do that. I don't know. I'm just kind of worried.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying she wanted to go with us for the next crystal, because I think we're going to have to talk to the Elzine.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, Cornelia has limited political pool, but there is some. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Honestly, for the charm, we need all the help we can get.
She's not getting support. Is that not something that you all are wanting to entertain?
I think some of us see the pros and the cons. I think no matter what we say, she's going to decide whatever she decides she's going to do, she's going to do. I would rather her be, if she's going to go, I'd rather her be with us
That's a fair point.
Than go off on her own when we really don't know what's going on.
Between the two of us, she did inquire to Squall about maybe getting a small party for herself. It struck me as odd when he told me, but now things make a little bit more sense. But I think you're right. I think she's going to try to do this one way or the other. Now, he didn't agree to anything, and, we've been talking. He has his concerns as well, of course, but she is exploring other options.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If she goes off on her own, then if something happens, then we can't do anything about it. If she comes with us and something happens, then we're the ones who killed the Queen of Cornelia. That's not really
it sucks.
There's not really a good option.
It sucks. And unfortunately, that's just how it goes. But, well, war. We've reached a point of no return in this thing, and I don't see us all being able to keep everybody safe on the way through, and it breaks my heart, but I don't know. I don't see any path but through it at this point.
Blake is going to have kind of shut down.
We always knew this day was coming. And Skull and I both knew that when we took your request to unleash the Guardian Force, that it was going to be the first open act of war against the Empire. And you're never really ready, but they've gone unchecked for too long. It was bound to happen. And now we just have to deal with the consequences. But I think we're ready. We're trained. Our defenses are set. But we do need allies. So I just keep that in mind whenever you make your decision. And whether you let Sara go with you or whether we try to keep her here. I just hope you all have a plan. And we will be here to help you however we can.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, if we go the way we go, I think we're going to be going near my home. There's been a couple of times I've just thought about going back and then just staying. Because I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
She kind of catches your gaze. There's no shame in that. This life is not for everybody, and you all, I feel bad for all of you, got kind of thrust into this. Just, there's no shame in wanting to just go back to the life you had. She kind of looks, matches your gaze and holds it, trying to convey the sincerity in what she's saying. With that being said, I think you sell yourself short. I think that you're a wonderful asset to this team. I've not even known them without you. But I think you're more important in this whole machine than you think.
I keep on making all the wrong choices.
There's no right choices. There's just choices. We make choices and then we move on, living with the consequences. That's just life.
Yeah, but my choice got Grunthor killed. I don't know what the hell. She wouldn't say hell.
What the heck?
What the heck? Well, yeah.
What, entire nation?
I was thinking that,
I don't know what he's come back as. But I pray,
It's concerning.
And even before that, there are things. Every time I've tried to do something, it's just made it worse. Or I just haven't been able to do anything to help. And when I make choices, I feel like I just made the wrong, they may just all be choices, not good choices or bad choices, but the choices I've made seem to not make things easier for us. And I don't know.
I don't think that's all on you. Everyone's made their choices. Grunthor made his choice. We made our choice when you contacted us and asked us to release it. We didn't have to follow through. We all collectively make choices, and we deal with the consequences of those. But surely you've made choices that have helped. Surely you've done things with this group that have kept them going. I can't imagine there's not a single time you've not saved somebody's life out there.
But even when we went to Alexandria, we were already hurt. And I could have done something to the Grand Mage. I tried. And it just wasn't strong enough. So when we went down, Grunthor was already hurt. I was already hurt. I could have stayed back with him. I could have healed him. I could have done... But I was afraid that he would kill us both. And Grunthor would have to protect me. I should have just stayed back with him.
That's a lot to carry. I'm sorry. Grunthor made his own decisions. He did what he felt he needed to do, and the only way to keep that memory going is to keep doing what you think is right. Whether it works out in the end, that's for the history books, but...
That's the problem, though. I don't know. I don't know what I think is right. Like, I don't know. I feel like every time I make a decision, it just ends up worse for us. And it terrifies, and like... And there is so much riding on this and on what I say or what I do or what we do.
You all have a lot of pressure on you, and that's... Squall and I run a city, and you have more pressure on you than we do. I can't even imagine what it's like to be one of the bearers of those insanely powerful crystals. To have this calling thrust upon you by the universe? I can't even imagine what that's like. But you're not alone. Like, you've got people beside you. You've got me, if you ever want to talk. I can't hear you. You're saying something.
Oh, sorry. I used to be friends with Grunthor, or I used to be friends with Nozak, and then Alexandria happened, and he's been angry. I don't think Ava has spoken to me. And Izzy can't speak to me without talking down to me or insulting me or saying that I'm manipulative, or I can't, like... And Grunthor was my friend, and I'm the one who made the argument that made him stay, and I got him killed. And I could have stayed. So I don't know where I have friends, but they're miles away.
Well, if you want one, you've got one right here. She kind of reaches out and grabs your hand.
Aww.
There's... I'm not making excuses for them. I don't know. But from what I understand, there's some things going on. I've noticed a change in Izzy. Nozak seems to be about the same level of abruptness that I remember, though. She just kind of trails off. Grunthor's concerning. We've actually asked Hojo to look into this a little bit to see if we can get any insight on what's going on with Grunthor. I only tell you this because I hope it brings you some comfort that we're trying to get answers on that, because we also are... The group that came back is not the group that we sent out. The one that left Balam just days ago. They seem angry. They seem hurt. In some places, they just seem unnatural. So I hope that what you're seeing, that what you're feeling is just byproducts of the stress that you're under. I truly think that there's a bond between the 5 of you that runs deeper than this, that you can get through, and I hope you do. If you can't, I'm always here. I love a little gossip. And you can always go home. Nobody is going to judge you, and if they do, fuck them.
I'm scared.
I'm fucking terrified.
It's hard to explain the old ways to people that aren't from where I'm from. It's hard to explain my relationship to, I don't even know if you would call them gods, the beings that I'm a cleric for. We normally don't call on them because it's I'm trying to think of the word. We normally don't call on them because it's just our lives, our matters are inconsequential, I guess. But I've always felt that connection has never not been something, even if I wasn't aware of it, even if I'm not looking for it. I know I can feel it in the live strings. And the day that Grunthor went down and Alexandria fell, we normally don't pray for help, but I did. I feel so disconnected. I've never felt like this before. And my magic, I've tried to pray, I've tried to reach out, and I can't feel it like I do, like I did. And I don't know why. Nozak said, fuck the gods and fuck religion. And I can't understand that feeling, but I've never felt like this before. And it's scary.
Wish I could say something. I've never been particularly religious myself. I mean, we do our tithes to the water crystal and Leviathan, but what you're talking about, that connection, I've never known anything like that. How many people do you... is that common where you're from? That connection you're talking about? Does everybody feel the same that you do?
No. Do you know... She's gonna pull her hair.
Okay.
And be like, do you have anything like this? We call it God touched. It's how we know, it's how cleric abilities show up on people that were born in the forest. If you have, it's usually a couple of white strands, a chunk of hair.
No, nothing like that here.
And usually when you're about 16, you get to try to be, fuck, I worked this is Kat speaking, this isn't Blake, I worked this out! What were the words?
Google Doc time.
I know, I don't think I wrote it down, I think it was just in my head. Why did I do that?
Were you not prepared for your lore dump this episode? Come on.
I had it all in my head, and then it went a different way than I expected, and I've been just like making it up off the seat of my pants.
I will say, I gave her the only heads up I gave Kat was probably gonna have her Noah do a spa day with you. That was it. That's all I said.
Yeah. Okay, I need to get back into Southern Charm.
Here, have some sweet tea.
I had coffee. This is legitimately like
close, but I saw the Dunkin'.
I'm
I know.
Drinking at like 11:45, so
you need
it's
the
fine.
Sweet tea, though.
It's fine.
Some pecan
it's all
pie.
going to be fine. Yeah. No. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh wait, no, pecan. I don't know. I've heard pecan.
I call it pecan, but in the South, a lot of people call it pecan pie. So.
I heard it both ways, and it drives me bananas. Anyways, Okay, back to Blake. Oof. Okay. When you're about 16, you can get tested for assistant, and if you have enough abilities, then they'll take you on, and it's usually about 2 years, and you can be an acolyte. And if you have strong enough abilities to pass the test, then you get to be an acolyte of the sanctuary. But it takes years to get full white. And usually the people that have full white are the leaders of our order, of our community, of our people. I got my full white at 16.
Sounds like maybe your life isn't so inconsequential after all to them.
I don't know. I don't know why things happened the way they did. I don't know why this happened to me the way it did.
We can spend our entire lives asking why, looking back, trying to figure out how things happened, how we got here. It doesn't change it. It doesn't change where we are. You just have to decide what we're going to do with today. She reaches you both of her cucumbers.
Blake is going to, pick them up.
Just kind of taps her eyes. Lay back. Close your eyes. Just be here. For just a minute. Just a little bit. Just be here. I think you might feel a little better.
Can we make it canon that, the time that this whole conversation has happened, that Blake has grabbed, a fuzzy bathrobe, or she's got to make one of those, spa robes?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to just say, just for comedy's sake, that somebody gave her, a human one and didn't really realize how big it was, but she was just too polite to say...
dragging the ground.
Yeah, well, she's been, carried it, so she's going to put the cucumbers and just kind of, squish into her chair and wrap her robe, and she's probably going to fall back asleep.
Yeah. As you kind of lay down, you just feel Renoa kind of grabs your hand and gives it, a nice little squeeze. And she just lets it go, and it's quiet. As you lie there, are you attempting to be in the moment? Are you trying?
I'm gonna say she's trying to.
I need a straight D20 roll.
Oh gosh.
Roll
Guys,
for
don't fuck me
relaxation.
over.
Never done this before.
You got a cat. God. Change dice. I just want to say I have changed dice 3 times. 3 times
2
tonight.
questions.
All I've got
All
are
right.
5s and 4s.
Do you have inspiration? Because if you don't, I
No.
I
Can I bless
will.
myself?
I would have given it. You can bless yourself. You can definitely do that. I will say you do have inspiration now
Or not bless.
for the bit of RP there. If you want to use it, you can. But I will say you do
Okay.
have inspiration. It's totally up to you if you use it now, though.
What would 8? Would 8 get me anything good?
8, does that get it above? Yeah, that's 12, right? You like
No, like
Oh, it's
I
still
had
before.
I had a
Oh!
fucking 4, and then I had another 4. Do I get something for a double
No, that-
force?
It was the same. I didn't even notice you reroll. Okay, so 8. 8 is not no. So if you want to burn the inspiration, you can. But 8 is.
God damn it!
Yeah, that's
Wait,
what
let me
Blake is
see if
saying.
I
As
have-
she's lying there trying to relax, she's like, "Son of a bitch, this is hard." You sound like
Can I
my
pull-
wife
can
sometimes. I'm like, "Just relax." She's like, "I can't."
Yeah,
Just not the
I have
time for that.
Inspiration?
I have too much in my brain. Can I cast calm emotions on myself?
Absolutely, you
I
can.
have been waiting for this whole time.
God!
I made a joke at the start that Renoa is trying to cast the level 4 calm emotions on this bitch. Not a single mention of the thing.
Absolutely,
Oh my god.
you can.
Okay, so let's say she was trying to relax and went just like mother above, and then just like cast calm emotions on herself.
Absolutely.
And now she is blissed out.
You can. And that definitely helps. As you find yourself getting frustrated with not being, you're still trying your best to just kind of be here, to let some of this stuff go just for a minute. And you're getting frustrated that you can't until you twitch your fingers a little bit, and then you feel that wave of catnip energy just kind of wash over you. And then you notice the sounds in the room. The smell comes back to you, which you smelled it when you came into the room, but it had kind of just faded. But now you smell it again, that cedar and pine. You can hear the faint, soft song off in the background, the chirps of birds, and you just feel yourself relaxing, untensing a little bit. And then, yes, after a while, I say that you probably would drift off to sleep. Finally being relaxed for the first time in probably weeks. As the sounds just slowly fade as you fade off into dreamland. Now, jumping back over to the rest of the group just briefly here. Ava, I didn't know you wanted to try to find Sara. Grunther, you were going to try to do the same thing, right? Izzy and Nozak, what would you be doing first thing in the morning? Backing up
It's
just a
funny
little
you say
bit.
that because Izzy was also going to go to Sara.
Okay, and Nozak.
Okay, well, I'm not looking for Sara.
Okay.
I reckon once I wake up, I'm probably gonna do a couple of things and kind of chill out, look out, and stuff like that. And then I think I'm going to like see if I can find someone to like let Renoa know that I would still like a couple of message scrolls that I can like either pay for or do something. And then I'm also just gonna ask her, be like, just as another thing, I'm just gonna be like, so the gunblade thing, do you just have like just a revolver by any chance?
Are you trying to get this message to Renoa?
I'm gonna get it. I want to send it to Squall.
Okay. So we will get that message sent off, and I'll get you an answer on that in a little bit. But really quick, Izzy, Grunthor, Ava, I kind of imagine you all eventually, with 3 of you looking, somebody's going to find her. I imagine you just kind of all like running into each other in a hallway somewhere, like, oh, what are you doing here? you do get, just asking around, you actually do find out that Sarah is currently down in Garden. So she has gone into the underwater, like the military bunker base. That's where she is currently held up. It takes most of the morning just trying to get that information, and eventually someone just gives it to you because Grunther's fucking terrifying. But making your way down there, it's easy enough to do. You've been given open access. So, you can make your way back to the greenhouse and take the elevator down and eventually find Sarah just kind of sitting there. And eventually she notices you walking up as she's just having a cup of tea and chatting with some other faces that you don't recognize. And there's this tension as she sees the group. And she kind of nods to the people she's with who just kind of wander away as she stands up to kind of meet you halfway as you're walking towards her. Good morning. How's everybody today?
Good morning, Sarah. I'm doing all right.
She's very formal, kind of clipped. She just kind of gives you a quick nod. She's avoiding your gaze completely, Izzy.
Oh no.
Question, GM.
Yes.
Is she still wearing her stately robes, or I'm praying for this? She's changed out into like a breastplate, and y'all like gone all Joan of Arc or something.
At the moment, she's more in kind of. She's not going anywhere yet, so she has changed out of her stately robes. She does seem to be in more common-looking clothing, but it definitely looks like something that might have come out of like the barracks or something. It's looser fitting clothes, and it's more the kind of dull colors. But she definitely has been in the barracks getting outfitted. But she's at this point just having some tea, so she's not like totally decked out.
Can I don't know, size her up to see if her intention is like it's time to like
Insight check.
get dirty? Woo!
24.
Nat 20.
There's a couple of things that you're noticing. One, the way she's carrying herself is vastly different than before the conversation yesterday. She always had very good posture, but she's standing up taller. She seems almost more confident in herself at this point. There is a steely look of just determination in her eyes. As she's kind of looking between the two of you, there's this look of she's being friendly, but this is a woman who's made up her mind. This is a woman who's decided what she's going to do, and she definitely has action in her mind. So yes, you feel like she is preparing for something. Also, insight check. You don't know them. You didn't recognize the faces, but the people she was talking to you did catch a glimpse of what the symbols meant nothing to you, but that did, based on the number of things you saw, probably some kind of high-ranking military official.
I still retained my soldier background. Does that make any?
That's how you know it.
Help
It's just
towards
that
it? Okay.
it's just that the stuff that they have is more. It's pretty specific to the military rankings here in Balam, which you're not familiar with, but you do recognize them as, yes, based on the number, the stripes, but some of the other symbols and stuff you just don't know. But enough to know these are high-ranking military officers. I'm surprised to see you all down here. I was under the impression they kind of put together a relaxing day for everybody.
I came to give you this. I put together information about the Norvalen region for you, and I didn't know if you spoke their language or not.
Oh, she seems surprised and a little taken aback. I do, actually. It's pretty common in the courts to be, brought up with most of the major languages, Elizan and being one of them. But thank you. Is he?
I mean, okay, I will say he was the one who suggested the plan, and that's all I'm gonna say. She would remember that. But he just hands it to her and he says, "Okay, perfect." And then he just leaves, clearly about to go do something else.
Well, she kind of turns back to the other two. Are you sticking around a little bit longer, or did you all just come this way just to say hi?
Kind of look towards Grunther and let him go first.
Catching Ava's eye, like kind of like looking at me expectantly. I stride over to a table of weaponry and looking over the different weapons, I want to select one that I think fits what I expect Sarah's fighting style would be.
Okay. What are you going for?
I'm gonna guess like maybe a either a well, she's a cleric, so like a war mace.
Okay. Okay. Easy enough to do. I mean, this is a military compound. There's weapon racks everywhere. Give me a perception check. Oh, no. Investigation. Just kind of looking for something specific. Okay. You find a mace. I mean, you do find a mace. They're there. But you're trying to find one particularly that stands out, but a lot of these are just standard issue. So, you were hoping to find something a little bit nicer, but you do find one that seems to be the right length, the right weight once you kind of pick it up, just based on what you've kind of sized her up as. She could probably wield this okay.
I'm gonna pick it up, stride over to her, and like reach for her wrist or her hand, and not grab it like forcibly. I'm gonna like kind of put my hand out to her hand.
Her eyes find yours for just the briefest of seconds. And there's a momentary hesitation, but then she offers you her hand.
And when she places her hand in mine, I'm going to take the mace and put it handle first into her palm in a way that would be held. Pull her fingers over it, and it's like, aim for here.
Noted. If you have some time, I wouldn't mind a little pointers beyond that, maybe, while you're in town. I've got some basic use of general weaponry. I think there's probably some things you could show me beyond what they taught a 13-year-old girl, just in general weapons training. So, if you wouldn't mind.
I'm going to look over at Ava. After she tells me that, I'm going to look over at Ava, and I'm like going, a little tutelage to Ava.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again? That confused me.
Basically, I'm like, what she's asking for pointers, and I look at to you, like basically to say helping to for some tutelage.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'll give an affirming nod to Grunther and to Sarah both, saying like I'll help train her and such.
She kind of turns her gaze towards you. Oh, sorry. Did you have more, Gunther?
No, I was like when he says yes, I'm gonna take out my halberd, and I'm like going, whenever you're ready. And in the brief like moment from before, I was like, and I'll say milady.
Sir Grunthor. She just gives you a very polite nod. and then looks over towards Ava. You had business as well, I take it?
Yes, just something quick, Sarah. I don't know how familiar you are with the golden grin of Cornelia. But
I've heard things, but by their very nature, they weren't really looking to make friends with a princess.
Yeah, that's fair.
I only kind of knew they were there by assumption, just because they were everywhere else. Why?
Oh, well, I just wanted to reaffirm my position with you that I am and always will be loyal with Cornelia as a member of the Golden Grin. And if you feel like you don't want to travel with the group and you want to go off on your own and seek out the Ellison, you give me the order and I'll come with you.
I appreciate that. I really do. And I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. She hesitates for a moment and then looks up at the two of you. Judging you're probably the most loyal to her crown out of the whole group. I've been talking with some of the generals here, just trying to go through some plans, talking through it with them, thinking maybe a third party give me some perspective. I admit that yesterday I may have lost my temper just a little bit. I just wasn't really expecting Izzy to react the way they did. But nevertheless, I personally would feel more comfortable traveling with your group. But I understand if that's not something that you want. I do very much think, though, that I need to make an attempt to contact them. I think I need to visit their court, and I think it's the only hope we have of brokering any kind of peace. Now, I've also been in touch with them about sending a small band out to Cornelia to see if we can provide aid to those there. I actually had the thought to go there myself, but Squall and Renoa were pretty adamant about that one too, because of the disease. But we have to do something for them too. I don't know what to do. I'm still talking it over, but the days of me sitting on my hands have to come to an end.
Absolutely, I agree. Cornelia has always taken part in fighting against the Empire, and there's no reason it should stop fighting.
I agree. And what kind of queen am I if I'm not willing to put my life in danger for those that look up to me to lead them? I have...
Milady?
Yes.
It's time to put away the crown of queen and become the general.
Give me a persuasion check.
Suddenly, I am elated Izzy is not here. because this very sweet moment would have been ruined.
She smiles a little bit and nods. Maybe one day. I don't know if I'm quite versed in battle necessarily enough to claim that title, but all I know is that what everyone is doing their part, I have to do mine. And I appreciate you coming to talk to me. I appreciate your support, but I'm not going to ask you to drop everything to follow me. I have to walk this path, and whether that's with you or a different way, we'll have to see. I just want you to know I'm not doing this. She kind of sighs. I'm not doing this to try to be stubborn or... I've given this a lot of thought.
Motherfucker.
I've given this a lot of thought, and I really don't see another way.
So you can fix the layout.
I fixed it. I got a 4-player screen I drop down to whenever somebody drops out, so we're good.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know how quietly I entered, so I didn't want to just jank that up.
Whenever someone enters, everything's messed up. It's pretty obvious, so I just click. But I promise...
I'll be quiet.
I promise not to run off without first discussing my plans. And I don't. The way things went yesterday, I don't want you to think that I don't value your input. Yours individually or as a group, I definitely do. But I will not stand around and have someone tell me how I'm going to live my life or the decisions I'm going to make. That part of my life is over. So your advice, I definitely will accept. Yours specifically, especially, she looks to the two of you. But in the end, I'm going to have to make my own decision, and I need you all to be okay with that.
Absolutely. I will support you no matter what choice you make.
And though
appreciate that.
many paths will branch out from here, eventually they all come to one road. I told you you have my support in these decisions. And with Ava alongside, I think we only become stronger.
I think so too. These are dark days, but we'll get through them, I think, if we can stand together and respect one another. Well, I think that you all do have. I think you have a date. If you missed the spa day, I do think that Renault is going to be a little testy. She was rather short with me when I told her I didn't feel like it today, so if nobody else shows up, she's probably going to lose her mind.
Don't worry, I'll take one for the team and show up.
I'll be here. I'm staying down here. Been having some meetings, talking with some of the generals. This is just a good place for me to be, and just getting the counsel I can. And I'll circle back with you soon. Okay?
Unless you wish me to leave, I would like to peruse some of the equipment.
By all means, you may want to check with him. She kind of points over to this really big, like, uh, he's also a Galka, just not quite as big as you, but he seems to be like the weapons master. And ever since you picked up that one, he's just been standing there staring at you like this. He hasn't said anything, but his eyes are narrowed. Maybe just check with him, but just tell him who you are, and I'm sure he'll let you look at whatever.
I won't be far.
I know. I appreciate everything you've done. And I appreciate you having my back on this. Both of you. Ava, if you hear anything else about the status of Cornelia, please let me know. If your contacts there tell you anything else. Sorry, Grunther, I didn't mean to cut you off.
In a kind of uncharacteristic thing with Ava, as I get ready to go to the weapon master and he heads off, I'm going to offer my fist to bump to Ava.
Oh, this is what we do now, huh, Grunthor? Okay.
You said we had a past. I thought this may be appropriate.
No, yeah, right. Yes, I agree. Right.
Blah, 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 blah. As the two of you part ways, Ava, you heading back to indulge Vernoa at the spa, and Grunther heading over towards the weapon master. Sarah just kind of watches the two of you go, and there's this soft smile that kind of plays on her face, and she turns around and returns to her tea, sits down. Nozak, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, partway through, because I think I did forget at the start, can, like, a little messenger just kind of arrive for Sarah and just say a little message from Nozak saying, when Sid lets me out, I would like to have a chat eventually.
Okay. She gets back to her table, and there is a little... They didn't even see it come and go. There's just a little piece of paper sitting right next to her tea as she opens it up. There's a look of concern on her face as she reads who it's from, saying she wants to have a chat. You're in a kind of a middle ground with her. You've got Izzy,
Yeah.
and her and Izzy are the ends, and then these two, and then you and Blake are more in the middle. So it strikes her more as, what's this about? As she just folds it and puts it away, goes back to her tea. And with that, I think we're going to call it a night. I don't have a big cliffhanger for everybody tonight. Look at that.
Yay!
I promised a low stakes spa day with no bad shit happening, and none of you all trusted me.
And we got trauma dumped.
You got trauma dumped, okay? That's well, yeah. I mean, you got to expect a trauma dump.
Loved it.
So, we will
I was
pick
gonna
up.
say I have a
Okay.
cliffhanger, but I don't know if it's appropriate for. I think Blake has had enough attention for like 1 million episodes.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's. Okay, if you don't want to do it, let's save it. If you want to let me know what it is, I can maybe work it into the beginning of next episode, or we can use it as a kickoff if it's something juicy.
I was just gonna say like Blake sleeping in the bathhouse, and she feels like in her dreams a skeletal hand go through her hair and the sound of bells.
Oh, I actually love that.
Metal.
Right,
I
Renoa
do
casts
like
Hold the
that.
Dead on Blake while she's asleep. I knew it.
And then she
Can't fucking
dies.
trust anyone.
Y'all just
She
find
dies.
Blake dead in the spa the next day. Dun dun dun.
I finally get to rest.
Wait.
So Blake becomes a necromancer. Got it.
Blake becomes Ecalb.
So by the end of this, my goal by the end of this campaign is you've all died and been resurrected as whatever the hell Grunthor is now. So far, I'm 2 out of 5 on killing you all. So, all right. So,
Rude.
with that, we're going to bring this episode to a close. We'll be back next week. So, when we pick up, here's what we're going to do. There will be some downtime built in here. Okay, so just players, send me over the next week or so just what you would do and with whatever little downtime you have. Like I already know kind of what Nozak wants to do. But yeah, so you'll have some time, and this is time to get some of that stuff done if you're wanting to create potions or spell scrolls or I don't know, go cow tipping or something. What do they do in the Norvalen region up there, Blake?
Can say I don't know what you would do. Like
Blake
with
just
a lot
never
of
leaves the
downtime.
spa. She's like, I
Yeah,
changed
Blake
my
is
mind.
just sleeping in the
Love
spa.
it.
Like,
So yeah, let me know what you want to do. Indeterminate amount of downtime at the moment. We will do some rolls at the top of next episode to see how the reconstruction of the airship is going, and that will determine about. Assume you have at least a week, though, of downtime.
I'm going to talk to you about some things with that as well.
Perfect. With that, thank you all for watching. I did notice that we got a new follower in the middle of that, but we were in the middle of it, so I'm sorry. Thank you for the follow, Veronica. So again, every Monday we do this, and it's also on YouTube. And yeah, we will be back next week with episode 44 and see what happens. It will not be a spa day. I can tell you that right now. Blake's dead. Blake's dead in the spa. It's a murder mystery.
I was about to hit fucking Kupo Quest SVU.
It was Renoa in the spa with a cucumber.
She poisoned you with those cucumbers. That was it. That's why she didn't. That's why she didn't eat hers.
Wait, where's the ultimatum?
All right, everybody.
Yeah, Kupo Quest.
All right, we're still live, so you get inspiration for that because the game's still technically going.
Let's go.
All right, everybody.
Thank you
all for watching. We will see you next week. Lally-ho, friends.